Welcome back to DreamCloud Millennial Tech. Today we are going to be continuing our build of Millie Mini AI. And in previous videos, we've done all of this work on the assembly, but we're going to go back into these body pieces right here. We need to add mounting holes to this surface. We need to add the basically the wheels underneath, and we need to create the top hole mounting holes up here. So basically we're just going to be working on this piece, and then adding the wheels underneath. So hopefully I can get that done in one video. This might be a longer one, but I'd like to bang this out and get it ready. We took a little break. I had to master the AI video production pipeline. I felt like that was going to be really important as this technology gets incredibly good. So fortunately, I was able to do that. Basically, if you're trying to make AI videos right now, Nano Banana Pro for image generation, and then Kling 3.0 for video creation. I used Grok as well, but the Kling is a little more capable now. And then all these things are getting better. Produced a full range of songs on Suno from concepts that I was making on 11 Labs Music. So all these platforms are really good right now. So if you're into any kind of like AI video production, I'm going to be adding courses on that. So it won't just be me doing the robot videos for the rest of this time, but I'm gonna be sprinkling in tutorials on how to use some of these platforms. Replicate I really like. You could basically use any model there, and then Kling you need to really use their native website. So I'm logged in there, and I also started building a AI studio platform so I could have like a desktop version of all this, because everything that's online is like on a browser, and you kind of have to like open all these different tabs, which is okay. But I would really like to kind of produce more of a studio, like custom software, and then be able to use that, teach it, and then sell it, obviously, to generate revenue. So let's get started on this thing. I think what we need to do is we need to start creating the hole on this guy. So let's turn off this. Let's turn on the lower shelf, right? And then we're going to start creating the hole and everything for that. So I would like to turn on the post just to see where that is, and then we can use that to kind of tell us where the grid should be, because obviously the grid needs to be avoiding this. So just to kind of confirm, we're going to go with this one. I'm going to open up this this hole right here is the middle shelf, and I'm thinking it's going to be this pocket right here. So it'll be this sketch. So it's 20, 20, 20 with a radius of 3. That makes everything really, really easy, right? So let's close that, turn all those back on, and then shut this down. So we're going to go into the this guy right here, which is the lower shelf. Great. So let's open up lower shelf. Let's get into this pad, right? We're going to create a sketch. Make sure that this is selected, and then we can create a sketch. Cool. Make sure you're saving it. So for this one, we're just going to do a regular rounded rectangle from the center here. Make sure you have center selected over here. Center, 20, 23, and then this will have 1 degree of freedom. And we can move it like that. And we're just going to dimension. We're just gonna, let me close these down. Right here, that's 20. Wow, my computer's really slow. I hope that's not this. I mean, I am streaming and recording, so that's probably what's going on. Yeah, so 20, that's good. Close it. Save it. Pocket. And this is going to be 15. Cool. So that's done. Now we need to create the grid. So let's save it. Let's see if we can't just create the same grid. If we go to middle shelf and we go to, I think it's this one. Yeah. See this? We're going to do 0.42. Cool. And then we're going to do 110, 110, and then 40, and then 35s. Turn that back on. So let's do that. Let's go here, lower shelf, create a sketch, and go to guidelines. So you should remember that guidelines are up here. Regular rectangle is good. Center, so it's going to be the blue line. And then 110, 110. And then we do the same thing, but it's 40, 40, right? Save that. And then we just put the circles on it. So we'll do one here, 4.2, right? This would be, yep, for M3 holes. 4.2, 4.2, 4.2, 4.2, 4.2, Paul. Cool. Remember to get the corners. 4.2. 4.2. 4.2. I guess while I'm doing this, I could just talk about the video project, because honestly, something I'm really excited about. I've been kind of like in the past before this project, before I started even building robots, I was creating AI like videos from images, creating future worlds, future cities. And honestly, the technology was just really bad. So you could only get like something that was so compelling. So now that the video quality is out of control, people who have been wanting to like create their own sci-fi films are going to be really, really empowered. And so I decided to create a studio. I made an AI celebrity. We recorded a song. We recorded many different songs, many different versions. Um, so the range is there, the control is there. I was surprised on how good the songs are, like high quality songs. But you can't just make songs; you have to have an artist. So I was like, "What? We need to make this like a. We need to make this like a celebrity, right? Like an AI digital celebrity." So that's all. That's all locked in, right? Locked in grid. And then you got your drawing right there. You can just do a pocket. And these pockets I like to do 10 just so they're deep enough. And there's save it. There's 5, you can see there's 5 millimeters on the underside anyway, right? Because that thing is 15 thick. So that's what you got to do. Um, that's basically all we needed to do there, because you can see it's perfect. So if I turn, let's just say I turn these off and I go turn this on, you can see that our final assembly, which is here, this is going to be, this has like all the holes we need. So that's that. And then the next thing we're going to do is the top. So let's just repeat this process right here. And we'll go ahead and basically do the same thing. So now we're going to turn this off again. We're going to go to top shelf. See, top shelf. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we go on, we need to do bottom shelf. So bottom shelf. Yeah, let's do the bottom shelf since we're down here. So turn on the lower. We only need these two for context. And let's wait. Let's wait to chamfer that. I mean, I guess we're done here. We could just chamfer all these now. So let's just jump back into here, lower shelf, right? And let's just do a couple of these. So this one, if we go to, let's cancel that. If we go to middle shelf and we just look at this chamfer here, it's 1. No, it's 2. Okay. Yeah, these are 1 and that's 2. So that's good to know. I would like to know what this, that's probably, it's probably 2 on the outside and 1.5. So let's do the inside first. We're going to go to this one, lower shelf right here. And then we're just going to do chamfer, turn that off. Boom, 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 boom. Right? We don't need to do the bottom because it's inside there. And just make this a 2. Make sure it doesn't, hope it doesn't crash. Cool. And then we can do the outside as well. So get back into chamfer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's a 2. And now we can see that that lines up sweetly. Sweetly, save it. Chamfer. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be the inside. Right? Cool. So that's pretty much it. That piece is done. And if we want to, again, we can go to the assembly and we can check it. See how that flows now with the piece. It's gonna look nice in production. But basically we got like a nice unified look, even though there's a seam there and then a seam that goes up there. The piece itself, this leg flows. It's not just a dropped, leg. And then, yeah, it works. So let's do this bottom piece right here. Turn this off again. Bottom shelf. Right? We can turn on lower shelf just for context. And then we need to look at this other thing we did. So you don't have this file, but I'm gonna open something like Robot 2. And if I open this one, this is our other robot we already built. The size of it wasn't ideal. I didn't really like this size. I'm gonna keep this one obviously, but I'm gonna be making a different size one. Okay, so we go to bottom and we need to figure out this feet cube is what I called it. We need to figure out, let's turn off the feet. Yeah, we need to figure out these holes. So turn off all of that and that. And it looks like the holes came out right there. And then those holes. And then that pocket. And then that pocket. And then those holes. And then I guess we just chamfered it. So it's not that many things. So let's go back to the first one. And let's look at this. Okay. So this is, you can see this is a very specific dimension. And I wonder why that is. If we turn on the feet, I can't see those. Let me do this. Let me turn off the feet. Let me measure this. So if I measure this, it's 200. And this is 156. So 200 minus 156 is 44. So it's 44. It's 44 away from the edges, which makes it 22 away from each side, right? 22. So that's all we need to do. So now we go into here and we do this. We're in the bottom shelf and we're going to do a sketch here. And this one is going to be with guides from the center. And let's say let's measure this 180. So I can basically just subtract 20 from each of these. Okay. So let's do that. Right? So it was 156 and 176. So we're going to subtract 20 from that. So it's 136 and 156, right? And that should be where we need to position the holes. So let's do that. And then if we go to this tool, we need to figure out right? These are 4.2 and 50. So we'll go in here, we'll create these, 4.2, 4.2, 4.2, 4.2, cool. And then we'll do this. Oh. From here to here is 50. Cool. From here to here, 50. From here to here, 50. From here to here, 50. Looks like something's messed up. Oh, that's what. All right, so what we can do is this and that. We can lock it there. Cool. So that's fully constrained. You can see what those are the holes. I'm going to close it. I'm going to save it, obviously. I'm going to pocket it. And these are 10. So So the good thing about having something that's 15 is you can go 10 from either side. So it doesn't go all the way through. And just to check, I want to kind of go back and forth between these. Looks like it's right. Looks like it's good. It's just this one's a little wider. But I like how they're in the corner. It looks like we got the dimensions right. So now we just need to figure out what this foot is by copying this one. Right? Which we don't even actually need to do because I already have this. But for your sake, for your sake at home, I'm gonna remodel this this piece right here. So let's do that. Let's go into here. We need to add, well, no, let's finish this because I think we know what's going on here. So let's go back into here. We're going to create another sketch. This one is going to be based on the next part, which is these holes. So let's go into this sketch. And this is 170 by 170 with 5mm holes, because these are for the M4s, I believe. Yeah. So 5mm holes. I guess that's what we should do. Or is this for, maybe this is for, no, we're still using M3. So this whole project is basically M3s. So let's do that. 170 and then 0.5s. Cool. So we go into here, go up here, grab your guides, do a square, and then you do center. What did I say? 170, 170. No, 150. We have to subtract 50 from everything. So that's where it is, or 20 from everything. Now we just put holes at the midpoint. Just do 5, 5. Oh. Five, 5, 5. Cool, right? So we're good with that. Now, my friends, pocket that all the way through, right? Pocket that bad boy all the way through. So that's our mounting holes. And that pattern goes on every single one. So you can build the full one, or you're going to be able to just smack this on it. And if you want, you can probably put some controllers in there. And then you can make this like fully, I think that one would be like fully Arduino capable, but you should probably get to this level with what you build or what you buy from us if you want to integrate the Raspberry Pi for navigation. We already figured that out, so when we sell them, we'll just be selling them with the Raspberry Pi already set up, and we'll put everything on the flash drive already installed for you. So, and I'm thinking of how to integrate all this with OpenClaw, because that's like the agent now that everybody is kind of getting on board with. So if we can make this robot compatible with your OpenClaw account, I think that's going to help this thing blow up because everyone's already making OpenClaw accounts. So this can be one more thing that is accessible by your OpenClaw, and it might just be able to like talk based on that. Obviously, OpenClaw is just the LLM, so it's just you know, the text. And what we have running on Millie's is the full OpenAI Whisper, so it's text to speech. So I'm not sure how we're going to go with this. I might have to contact the OpenClaw community and the leader there, and see if we can talk about how we're gonna integrate this. But I think that'd be a really good idea to have this integrated with people's robots. So then we need to do the. I'm gonna do this one first. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to this one. So this is going to be 8.5s. That's all you need to know about that. And I think that these 8.5s, if I'm not mistaken, are 5. See how they're 5? They're 5 here. Yeah, you get it. You get it. Cool. So let's do those, and then we'll do this one again, and then we'll do this one, and then I'll add this one, and then we'll chamfer it all, and then we'll move on. So keep saving. Just keep saving. We said 8, right? 8.5. I don't know why it always shows the radius, but close. Boom. Create a sketch. Now all we have to do is draw, or what we're going to do is create external geometry. So boom, 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 and then boom. Grab the circle. 8.5. Oh, that doesn't seem centered. Oh, because it's not. So we'll grab those two. Cool. And then we'll do it again. Eight 8.5. 8.5. 8.5. And then we just need to pocket those. 5. And we're good. That's done. 2 more holes. We're going to get through this. Hang in there. We're going to do create a sketch. We're going to do, it's on the back, right? It's back here. Just to make sure, go to lower. See, it's right there. We're going to, oh, we're already in sketch. Cool. Leave that on. We need to do this guy right here. Rounded rectangle from the center. Just snap it there anyway. We got 20, 23. And then we're going to do this dimension tool from the center to here. And that is also 20. Cool. Close. And pocket that. Save it. 15. Bada bam! Cool. So that's done. And then we need to do this one right here, this hole. So let's go ahead and let's just leave it like that. And I'll just make this one like that. Or actually, you know what? Turn it around. Turn it around. So if you're new or whatever, we're gonna be doing Kling 3.0 tutorials. God, my hair is getting so fucking thin. How old am I now? I used to have a full bushy head of hair. We're gonna be doing Kling 3.0 tutorials. Kling 3.0 is crazy for AI videos. And you can literally change your life if you start making Kling videos. Like, I realize that like a majority of people aren't going to be able to figure out how to make robots, but I'm gonna continue to do these tutorials because I want there to be sort of like a community that's built around this. So obviously, you know, I'm gonna just sell robots to most people because I don't think people are going to be able to figure this out. But if you want to, there's going to be the tutorial so you can do it, or I can help schools with it. But the video tutorials, like how to make great AI videos, how to make great trailers, how to make great music videos, how to make great AI celebrities, that is all going to be honestly like more popular, right? Because it's 1,000 times easier than teaching someone how to model in CAD. So stay tuned for that. You're going to want to know how to create AI videos. I'm going to put those up on a course. I'm probably going to make that a paid course because I'm probably going to just do like a simple intro video on how to use Kling and some examples. But then when I go into my whole workflow, I'm using like Google Docs, I'm using ChatGPT, I'm using Replicate, I'm using Google Nano Banano, I'm using Kling, I'm using Suno, I'm using 11 Labs. So like the whole thing is like you got to be able to use like all of these tools. So that's why I wanted to figure it out. So basically, I could start charging for that because I feel like way more people would like that, and that I feel comfortable charging for because honestly, it's such a fucking crazy skill to have, and you know, for me, obviously, it's not. All right. Let me just do it off the bottom. I don't know why I did that. I don't like that. Let me just do it off the bottom. Let me figure out what this is. $15. Cool. No, I don't want that. I want this. Ugh, fuck. I'll just do it off that, I guess. All right, so we're in here. We're in the sketch. We're going to do this guy from center. 2023. And then from here to here, well, actually, we need this guy. And then we can do that from here to here. 20. Cool. Just to check it. Oh, that doesn't look right. So what's going on? What's going on? 15. Am I retarded? I'll answer that. Cool. Close. Save it. Pocket. 10. Cool. All the way through. Golden. And then we're good. All we have to do is create chamfers. And this piece is done. So let's go back here. Let's look at chamfers. I think all we need to do is start measuring these, right? Or let's just go through them all. That would be that one? Yeah. So that one we know is 2. That one we know is 2. Which one is this? Ah, I see what's going on. Out here. See this one right here? That looks like 2 as well. I don't think I did any of them. Let's see what this is. If it's 2.83. No, that's 2.12. All right, I'm just clicking on these. 2. Ugh. So oh, those are 1.5. I think we were doing 1.5 over here, but we're doing I think we're doing 2 now. Yeah, those are 1.5. But now we're doing 2. Right? Yep. Okay. So let's do it. Let's do's it. Bottom shelf. Right? We're there. We're just gonna start doing it. Cool. Change that to 2. Cool. Maybe we'll just do 1.5 over here. So chamfer again, save it, chamfer. Boom, boop, face, remove. Boop, 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 boop. 1.5. Cool. And then the bottom. Well, and then this one. So let's see what this is. If we go into here, that's 2, right? Yep. That's 2. So let's do that one. Let's see what these other ones are first, actually. We know that's 2. And then the outside is 2. And then the inside is 1.5. So I think we're good with that. So we'll go save this guy. 1, 2. We're just using the chamfer tool. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2. Do it again on the other side. Champs. The old chamfies. Cool. 2. And then do it one more time. $1.5. Cool. Save it. And I think we are good. That paste looks really good. So that's done. So we've got this done. That was done a long time ago. Middle shelf is done. Both the upper shelf, top shelf need to be done. So now we're going to go underneath this and we're going to drop in the feet. So let's do that. Bottom, turn it around again. And then bottom, turn it around. And then we're just going to go into the feet. So let's turn this off. We can get a good idea of what the foot is, right? And if we measure this, it's 50. And if we measure this, it's 50. So we already know it's going to fit. We just need to recreate it. So what was the first thing we did? Oh, this guy right here. Well, first we have to start it. So let's just start the body itself. So if we're in here, right? All we have to do is create body. Drag it up into there. So it's not in anything yet, so it's just independent. And then when we go to start it off, we're gonna this one has to be highlighted, like we're working within it. And then we do the bottom shelf right there and click that guy. So that basically makes that a binder inside here. So then we can turn these off, right? And we just have the binder of the body we just made. So now we're going to go in and create this, save it. The first thing we're going to do in here is create a sketch, right? And then we don't need the binder anymore. We're going to pull these lines right there off of that Coolio. And then we're going to have to create this first shape. So what do we want this to be? All right, so you can see that it's 5mm circles, and then it's 70 by 40 with 8 radiuses, and it's made off of this center line, which we need to make, right? So I'll show you how to do this. Doesn't look like it's touching it, but it is. It's grounded right there. So we got 40, 70, 8, and then 05. Cool? 40, 70, 8, 05. So let's do it. So that we go back into here. The first thing we're going to do is make circles. Right? Because we're using yeah, 5. 5. 5, right? Those should match. That's good. And then we do a line like this, This is the guideline, just a single line from center to center. Cool. And then we do this guy from center. And what did we say? 40, 70. Perfect, right? 8. Boom. Look how snug that is. That's money, baby. That's engineering. That's engineering, right? Fully constrained. And then just pad that out. Bam! Is it 5 or 10? It looks like it's... I think this is going to be one of those weird dimensions. Right? Seven. Yep, I was right. I was right. Seven. Cool. So that make that pad 7 when you're done with the sketch. Over here. Cool. And then we go to the body. We rename it. The foot. Right? Because it holds the wheel, and I don't know what else to call it. The fork. It's kind of like a fork, but you know, I'm calling it a foot. Okay, and then what do we do next? The feet. The next thing is these guys. So let's go into this sketch, and you can see that it's 20 and it's 7. That's where the 7 came from. 20 and 7. And I don't know what this 40 is. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's that. Okay. I don't know. It looks like I may have drawn this line first. We're just going to go for it. We need 20, we need 7, and that's 40, obviously. So let's go back here. Also, let's change. Close. Save it. Let's change. Let's change this appearance to orange. Submit for us. And bring up that. Close it. Cool. So now what we're going to do is create a sketch on here. Create a sketch, right? Just extract these lines so we can use them. It's always a good rule of thumb, right? And then I think what we're going to do is create a line from center to center, right? And then I think what we did was we did the square, a rectangle from center of here, right? And I think what we did was 40, and then what we did was 20, right? So that gave us like kind of like the coordinates of there, right there. And then we went back in and just did some boxes. So we just do that. We just do that. We just make sure that that is 7. And then that's going to be 20, right? Do it again. From here, it's 7 and 20. So we're good on that. I don't know what. Oh, look at that. So that dimension needs to be 20, right? And then that whole thing needs to be here. Which it is. Hopefully, if it worked for you, it worked for you. I'm just trying to get it back on there. And then what we have to do is center these by using this tool. So if I click on that one and that one, and oh, if I click on that one, if I click center, that one, that one. Okay. All right. This didn't work. Always mistakes with this guy. Let's start over. Guideline, center to center. Right? And then boom. Center. 40, 20. Right? Okay, I don't understand what's going on with this guy. I'm going to create a box from center. From center. 40, 20. Bro, what is your deal? From the center. What is the point of you? I already did that. I'm just going to do this. Boom, boom, boom. Done. All right. So that's the trick. And then now we can create our actual squares. So just boom, 7 and 20. Boom, 7 and 20. Cool. Close it. Save it. We'll go here. We'll find out how long that is. 55. We're not changing this at all. Right? Sketch, pad, 5, enter. That gives us a nice little guy like that. Cool, right? And then the next step is these pockets here, right? So that's kind of like a side sketch, and it's just 8.5, and then this one is 10 away, and it's centered. So I got that. Right? So what we'll do is we will create a sketch here. Right? And all we have to do is grab these supporting lines here and here. Maybe there too. Draw a guideline from wall to wall. Right? And then we make sure that that thing itself is just 10 from the bottom. It wasn't clean, so we need to delete it. Make sure that when you draw this guideline, it's perpendicular. So just try to drag these ones. All right, and then boom, boom, 10, and then what do we say? What's this? 8.5. You know what though? Yeah, it's fine. It works. It works. So 8.5 it is. A real circle, a white circle, center. You know what I'm gonna do on this? I'm just gonna make it just because. I'm just gonna make it 8.6 because the 8.5 is so tight. So 8.6, close, and then we do a pocket, right? But we do it through all. Boom, gets both of them, done. So basically, like it would do it through the rest of the drawing forever. Infinite. It's an infinite pocket, essentially. All right, save it. And then let's come down here. Let's look at this guy. So that's a 9 fillet. Okay. So instead of having to make rounded things like I did last time, you just do a fillet. So you just go boom, 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 and then you pick basically the closest number that it will allow you to do. It'll leave a little space right there, but it's way cleaner than having to go and like try to model a circle on top of that. This is like way cleaner. So make sure it's to the full volume, and then you're just going to round those edges down. Way better workflow. Obviously, if you need something to be a perfect, hemisphere, I guess you would say, a half sphere, then you wouldn't want to do that because that's not a perfect circle or half circle. But it works for me because it's just the shape we want, not the precise dimensions. So then you're going to do the next one. These pockets, right? And that should be 8.5 as well. So let's do that. And for this, all we're going to do is we're going to go into create a sketch, extract the lines from these edges, and then do 8.5, and these are basically for the washers, so everything fits inside instead of being on top. And then if I just I just want to measure that. Close. If I just measure that, it's 2. Cool. So all you have to do is go back into that sketch, or not even, just hit pocket and make sure it's just 2. So it just makes a nice little lip, and you can hide a washer right in there. Cool. So that's it. And now all we have to do is the chamfers. So let's do that. Chamfers are 1.5, right? 1.5 is kind of a standard chamfer. 2 is big, and obviously 1 is small. So all the chamfers are that size. So now let's do it. Let's save it. Make sure to save all these. Chamfer, up, 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 up. Right? Boom, boom. Up this side. This is the fun part because you really get to shoots. So if you're wondering how the AI videos are gonna fit in with this project, basically I'm gonna put because it's AI videos, I can put Millie in the actual film, and then the robots become merchandise, right? Think about the merchandising from making a film, and instead of just having like t-shirts and stuff, Millie will actually be a robot in the film, and then Millie will be a real robot that we're building in the real world that you could buy. So just think about this robot project now, Millie Mini, and even this big robot here. I'm gonna put them in the actual movie, and then people will want to buy the robots because it'll be part of the merchandising. So think about like R2D2, right? C3PO. They have their robots. Now DreamCloud's gonna have Final City. That's gonna be our movie franchise, and then we're gonna have Millie, which is our robot. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped. And honestly, dude, like, you know, creating another world and being able to, you know, be in it is amazing. I love the videos I created, the trailer I created, the song that I made with AI. I wrote the song. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do right now. If you're creative, then you should hit me up because I'm willing to work with anyone if they have a good attitude. But you know, it's time's a wasting, you know. So boom, 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 boom. Let's turn it all on. Let's see what we got. Parts. Oh, what we need to do is we need to put this. We need to go to assembly 4, right? So what we need to do in assembly 4 is new part. And this is going to be foot part, right? And then we just drag the foot inside there. So the foot is in there, right? And then when we want this into the assembly, right, we turn that off and we go back into the assembly and we do insert part, right? And it's just going to be foot part, insert, boom, parent assembly, I can't see anything. Oh, because we turned that off. So, cool, right? So we dropped in our, dude, what is going on? There we go. No. Why would you be doing that, bro? There we go. Yeah. Cool. All right. So now we got our foot dropped in. And then the only thing we have to do is the top part. So I'm going to finish this right now in this video, right? So we did the bottom part. We did this part. We did the bottom. We did the foot. I need to show you how to do the wheel. So we need to bang that out. But I think it's just the wheel from the first one. So let me open that. Right? Yeah, I just reused that. And then you can see how this fits the bolt. I'll show you why. So basically we got these really nice we got these really nice, I don't know what you call them, but I have more sitting in my cart on Amazon. Um, they're like hex capped screws, so it looks super clean when it's inside the actual wheel. See how clean that is? And then we use them here too. So we're basically just using like standard hex, like Allen. Like the whole thing is based on Allen wrenches. So I'll probably have to throw in a little Allen wrench set for you, and you should be able to unscrew everything. Although it will be like I'll put Loctite on all the bolts for you, so it doesn't fall apart. So let's look at the wheel, right? We can turn everything else off. As you can tell, there's a lot of parts. Right? So let's go ahead and measure some stuff though. So that's 4.5. Which is what? 9? Yeah, that makes sense. Because the other thing is 8.6. So that's 9. And then that side is 7. So if we look at this, yeah, 9 and then 7. Totally makes sense. Cool. So that's good. Let's see. It's probably let's open this guy. And if I open that, see, we can measure this. 25. Oh. And then, oh man. And then if we measure this, it's 26. Cool. So it's only 1 millimeter. So let's start there. What's that? 25 millimeters and 25. Wow. Sacred geometry, bro. So let's get it. We need to go back out of the assembly. We need to go into the foot part. We actually just need to start here and create a new wheel, right? So that the wheel is here, and the wheel is, now let's take the wheel and put it in the main. So the why isn't my foot? Why isn't my foot in a freaking... That's weird. That's so weird. Okay, so we need to do foot part. I just did this. It's wild. So drag that in there. Right? Turn off the assembly. Foot part. foot, right? Turn all that off. Turn on the assembly. Wow, I could have sworn I just inserted this. So I don't know what happened, but I'm doing it again. Right? Insert, foot part, insert, parent assembly, done. I don't know what happened. That's weird. But we can see that it's now in there as a part, and then it's there. Right? Now, what we need to do is do the wheel. So let's turn that off. Turn the wheel on. Turn the wheel on. Go back up to parts. Turn the foot part on. But what we have to do is select this, double click wheel. And then we select the foot, and then we do the binder. So now the binder is here, right? We can turn this off, and we have this binder here. So now we go back into the wheel, and you said it was 25 by 25. So all we have to do is grab this guy. Let's do, if I just turn on the assembly really quick. Okay, let's do it on the outside. We're gonna grab this, create a sketch. So basically on the inside wall here, you wanna create a sketch on the inside. And then grab this, grab that, do this guy. And the first one we said was, don't do 9, do 7, right? And then also do 25. Oh, 50. Yeah. Right? Yeah, see that? I'm giving you extra room so you can build your own stuff down here. So that's good. Boom, boom, done, close, pad. Now this is 25, right? Now if I go back up to the foot part, you can see that it's perfect, right? So we got that done. And then just to kind of check up on that, this one is 4.5, so that's 9. And then this fillet is 5. So I'll show you what to do about that. So let's go back into here. Let's go into here. Let's turn that off for now. Do create a sketch. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. 9, right? Close. Pocket. And then for now, this is 7. The whole thing's, it's about 10. So just do 10. And then I'll go check that. Beautiful. Works. Cool. So that's 10. And if you look at this, right, we got the wheel. Let's go to close. Let's go to change the appearance. Obviously you can't tell from here, but if I go to set it to our standard style orangey poos, pop, 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 and then, oh my God. Change the appearance or the opacity, transparency, then you can see it. So that's because of this little piece. See that? That's why we had to do that. Cool. And then what did I say? What's the radius on this? Fillet? 5. That's it. We're done with that too. See, it's not that hard. Oh, and the wheel should be white. So go back to here. If you caught that, good for you. That was not a test. I'm just really stupid. And then we're just gonna go boom, 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 5. Oh, make sure you're over here, 5. Cool, right? And that's our wheel. So then we go to assembly. We go new part, okay. We throw the wheel inside that. We rename to wheel part. Cool. Cool. Wheel part. Done. Now we turn that off because we don't have it in the assembly yet, which is this beast right here. And all we have to do to throw it in there is go to insert, right? Save it. Insert wheel part. I don't know why it's called part 2. That's weird. And then boom, parent assembly, click that, boom, we're done. Your wheel's in there. Now what we can also do is, check this out. Check this out. Okay, we're gonna go back to the foot, right? We're gonna go back to, let's turn that off. We're gonna go back to the foot and we're gonna create a custom local coordinate system, right? For the part. And we're gonna do foot hole, right? And we're gonna do this guy, and we're gonna do concentric. And we're gonna do concentric. It's gonna work. Okay, so use that, but turn it off. And then we're gonna go back to the assembly. And we're gonna take this guy. We're gonna get rid of, let's get rid of these. And then we're gonna insert the part again. Oh, you know what we need to do? Shoots. Okay, we need to go back into bottom shelf. Yeah, bottom shelf part. And we need to start adding more of those, right? So we're going to add, if we look at this wheel foot part, and we look at this foot hole, see how it's on the front? So now what we have to do is on the bottom shelf part, right? Turn off the assembly, bottom shelf part, turn off the foot part. We just need to create more local coordinate systems. So we're in here, we just do this, and we do foot hole 1, and we do this guy, and we do concentric, and foot hole 1, bottom, bro, what are you doing? Where is it? What is wrong with you? It's not creating this? Bottom shelf part. Foot hole. Yeah. Dude, come on. Foot, I don't know, mount. 1. There we go. So it's here. We need it to go here and concentric. There we go. Now it works. Cool, right? So that's okay. Now just do it again. Boom, same thing. Foot, mount, something like that. 2. Done. Just click that guy and click concentric and click OK. And then we're going to do it. Make sure it's on the top, right? So we're going to do that again. Boom. Foot, mount, 3. This guy. Concentric. Okay. And then boom. One more time. Cool. Boom. Boom. Concentric. Boom. So basically, it's on the tops of these. So we can turn all those off. Cool. Boom, boom. Okay. So those are all referenced on this bottom shelf part. And the bottom shelf part is already in the assembly. So now that we have the bottom shelf part in here, if we expand this and we go to our We go to our bottom shelf part. Yeah, we have all these. Oh, I guess that's where they were ending up. So we have all these. Boom, 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 boom. Right? We have all these. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now when we insert this guy, right? Save it. When we insert this guy, the foot part, we can choose the foot hole, and then what we select is the bottom shelf part, right? And we're going to select 1. See? Now we can place it. Now we can place all 4 of them in here. So that's 1. Okay. Right? And then we rename this foot part 1 assembly. This is just for housekeeping. Okay? We're going to insert another one. It's going to be the foot part, and we're going to insert it on the bottom shelf part, mount 2. There you go. Mount 2. Done. Make sure you're saving. Rename. Foot part 2 assembly. Cool. Save it. Insert. Foot part. Insert. Foot hole as your as the local coordinate system point. Bottom shelf as the parent object, and then on the parent object we need to go to the 3 because we already did 1 and 2. Done. Save it. Rename. Cool. Insert one more. Foot part. Insert. Hole. Bottom shelf part 4. Done. Cool. Rename. Assembly. Assembly. Cool. Done. Cool, right? That's why we do the assembly. That's why we do the assembly. That's why we take all this time to do the assembly, because you're not modeling 4 parts. Right? Now, if I want to, I should go into here, bottom shelf, and turn all these off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make it look cleaner. Do the same here. Boom. Make it look cleaner. Boom. Boom. Clean. Look at that. Dunzo. Cool. You know what? Let's insert the wheels and we'll call it a day because this video is long and I don't think we're gonna have enough time to jump up here and finish all that. So this is gonna be, we're gonna insert the wheels. But to do that, we need to create a point there. So hide this again. Hide this again. Go into foot part, right? We're gonna create one more. We're gonna create one more, and it's gonna be right on here. So we do foot part, and we do this guy right there, and we're gonna do wheel hole, right? And then we're gonna do It doesn't matter. Let's do that. No, let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. Concentric. Okay. So that's done. And that's going to be on all 4 of them, but just go ahead and hide it. Right? Now, on our wheel, we're going to do the same thing. On our wheel part, we're going to add another one. And it's going to be wheel hole wheel hole, we'll just say wheel hole circle. Just so it's a different name. And then boom, concentric, good to go, right? So you see how that's on there. And then we can turn that off. We can go back into our assembly, turn that on. And then we can start doing this, throwing in the circle. So let's add a part, and it'll be a wheel. Insert it, right? Now, just to test this, we're going to do the wheel hole. We're going to click the foot part 1, and it'll be the wheel hole, right? Okay. That was easy because that's where it was. Now we're going to see if this is, let's rename them later. Let's just insert. I'm going to do a wheel. I'm inserting the wheel. I'm going to select the wheel hole. I'm going to select this foot part 2 now. And that wheel hole. Boom! See? See, baby G? Baby G. Wheel part. Wheel hole. Part 3. Wheel hole. You! Set yourself up for success. That's what this is all about. Wheel, insert, hole, foot part 4, wheel hole. Okay. Save it. And then when we go to the, I'll just turn all these off. Cool, right? All right, well, I hope that's spaced enough apart. I really don't want to remodel this again. I mean, I made it shorter. Right, left, left, so yeah, that was way too tight. That's a bit wide. That's good. Honestly, that's good. We just need to make it slow, and then it won't tip over. So that's basically it for this video. I'm gonna make a little This needs to be like the thumbnail. So basically we did all of our work down here. And then we'll go up here in the next video. So I added all these holes. We added the circle hole here. We did all the mounting holes here. The only thing we didn't do, we need to do this before we go. Good thing I caught this. Turn off the assembly. Go back into your parts. We need to add the mounting hole inside here. So if we turn off the bottom shelf and the foot and that, we can see that there's no way for us to mount that bottom shelf onto here. Right? But if we go into here, we can see that the this would be the foot cube, right? Turn these off. You can see that there is a there's a sketch here. And I think it's just going to be the 150, right? So let's just measure this. That should be 4.2. Yeah, 4.2. And then if I go into, let's just measure the distance from here to here. 170 minus 20 is 150. So 150 and 4.2, right? We already know that. 150 and then 4.2. So if I go over to here and I go into, yeah. If I go back to part design, I need to go into here, lower shelf. We need to create a sketch. We need to create a sketch from tapping on the surface. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Save. Guide from center. Make sure this is on center. 150, 150. Four point two. Do it again. 4.2. Come on, dude. Almost done. Please. All right. 4.2, please. Yes, there we go. 4.2. Oh, tough break. Tough break, kiddo. Save it. Let's turn these off. I think it might be slowing us down here to have all these open. So we're good with this. Again, circle, center, 4.2. 4.2. And please, 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 please. Done. Last one. 4.2. Please, baby, please. Yeah. Okay, fully constrained. See that? Close it. Cool. Pocket this bad boy. It's default 5. We're going to select 10. Come on, bro. Yeah, it's the streaming. Because I'm streaming and recording and trying to model. My computer's like going to blow up. All right, so I'm going to probably just end the stream pretty soon. Let's see. Come on, bro. Yeah, it's the streaming. Because I'm streaming and recording and... So let's just stop Twitter. How many people are on Pump? Anybody? Anybody? 3 people? All right, I'm gonna come back later on Pump. I need to just, basically we're done for the day. I'll see you guys next time. Cool. And then this is, it's done. That's done. Okay, so we're done for the day. So everything's done here. Obviously, I'm going to check this before I print it, but that should be it. So turn off parts, turn on assembly, save it, and we're done. Congratulations. And then we're going to be adding the holes in here to both of these. Same thing we did on the bottom. So it's basically like the same concept moved up so they can interact with each other without all of these, without all of these basically. Just think about it like that. You could pull or lower to upper shelf. You could pull that whole thing off and this part would connect to that part and then it's this one, right? So that's basically what we're doing. We'll make that the thumbnail. We'll make that the thumbnail. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.